Good day everyone, my name is Ara Cristal Vargas. Today we will discuss the ordering and purchasing of stocks, sourcing for suppliers, canvassing, and quotations. So before we start, let me introduce my groupmates, Mr. Montecarlo de Torres, Miss Banaya Mendoza, Miss Hazel Giba, Miss Rowan May Cabarera, and Miss Reina Rose Rocha. Ordering and purchasing of stocks. So in ordering and purchasing of stocks, once the end user have already established reliable allocations and have came out with accurate estimate of their stock requirements, then they can proceed to the ordering of stocks. So let's move to the calculating for order quantity. So the order quantity is calculated as stock required on hand. So using the same example regarding the beef tenderloin, that there are 5 kilos of beef tenderloin. So halimbawa po nito is the requirements is 37 kilos. Then assume that there are 5 kilos of beef tenderloin that's still available on that day. So the quantity to order shall be computed as 37 kilos, which is maximum requirement, minus to 5 kilos, which is on hand, and it is equals to 32 kilos, which is yun yung kailangan orderin ng araw na yan.
Continuing the ordering and purchasing of stocks. Data on the on-hand quantity can be generated by doing an actual count. This is, however, a time-consuming job and not so practical, especially if there are plenty of stocks to be counted. An alternative source of data is the inventory worksheet. In this inventory worksheet, the data on the movement are recorded, which are the in and out of the stocks. All purchases are added to the beginning of inventory to arrive at the total available stocks. Then all stock issues like transfers and spoilage are deducted from the total available to generate the on-hand balance. But it is important that entries on the movement of stocks are purchases, transfers, issues, spoilage, and etc. are consistently and promptly posted. Otherwise, the on-hand balance will not be accurately determined. In establishing order quantity in the market list, the stock controller simply copies the on-hand balance from the inventory worksheet and transfer it to the on-hand column of the market list. The Excel program will automatically generate the net order quantity. So all in all, ordering and purchasing of stocks are a process of minimizing and maximizing both of your fast and slow-moving products.
Once the purchaser receives the approved purchase request, he or she shall proceed to sourcing or canvassing of quotation from different supplier. In accordance with the following guideline. Number 1, dapat po yung mga purchaser shall determine the purchase requirements ng mga end users by reviewing po the forms, the purchase request or market list. And then dapat po verify po with the end users yung mga pinapurchase nila specification po like brand, kung anong mga size, at iba pa po. Number 2, dapat po yung mga purchaser ay nag-scout po sa mga supplier kung sino po yung makakamit po ng quality and quantity na nire-require ng mga end user. And then dapat din po yung mga supplier mag-i-invite po sila ng magsasambit sa kanila ng formal quotation kasama po yung mga sample nila. And then po, the sample shall be presented to the head chef or to the requesting officer para po sa assessment at saka po sa approval. Number 3, there should be at least 3 quotations po if there are less than po mga 3 suppliers na may quotation. The purchaser must scout the additional quotation. Prospective supplier ay kailangan po required pong mag-fill up po ng supplier's information sheet ng Form 5.6. Number 4, dapat po yung mga purchaser ay nagme-maintain po ng file ng mga supplier's quotation para po sa comparative quotation sheet po na nasa Form 5.7. And there should be price increase of supplier quotation. There must be communicated to the purchaser immediately Otherwise, the original quotation shall be applied in the bidding. Number 5, supplier should never be told of the other supplier's quotation. Hindi din po sabihin ng mga suppliers yung mga quotation po ng mga iba pang suppliers. Thank you.
Hi, I am Rina Rosa Rocha. I'm going to discuss the guidelines about supplier. Number 6, bid shall be awarded to the supplier based on competitiveness of his quotation and terms. In selecting a supplier and in awarding bids, the purchaser must be considered the following. First is, the product meets the quality specification of the end user indicated in their purchases specification. So we need to choose the right quality and right specification of the product. Letter B is, the prices are competitive and comparatively cheaper than other quotation. Some of the prices are high and cheaper than others. Next is, the supplier is willing to give terms, usually 1 month. The next is, the required quantity can be supplied, meaning the supplier has enough stock to meet the requirements. So the supplier have enough stock to fulfill the required order. Next is, the source of good is guaranteed to be safe. License meets sanitation standard in the case of food and transport facility of likewise sanitary. The goods are good enough in terms of quality, specification, and also papers. Next is, the supplier is accredited or licensed, has sales invoice, and official receipt as good reputation. One can do a background check from his other client. The supplier are having legal papers to make sure good reputation in case sometimes happen between client and supplier. Next is, if possible, supplier is battable, he is registered in BIR. So it means is, the products of the supplier are chargeable in BIR. Next is, this should be indicated in the supplier information sheet. I can show you the sample of information sheet and need to indicate some of the information of the client and also the supplier. As you can see, the supplier information sheet contains the name of company, supplier, address, email address, fax number, position, telephone number, contact person, cell phone number. Then include the supplier information sheet, the product line, the client list, and their other information. Next is number 8. Price increases in acquisition of stock should be relayed the end user so that the necessary adjustment can be done in the menu and the for selling price. If this is not done, the standard cost cannot be achieved. It means the prices will be increased if we got some stock that we needed, but they need to adjust the menu and selling price. Also, if this is not done, it will cause not to achieve the standard cost. Number 9 is, all quotation and terms from different supplier are presented to the purchasing manager for review, and on such basis, said manager will decide as whom to award the bid or purchase of item. Means that this is the decision part. We are needed to choose award the bid or purchaser of the item from different supplier. Last is about supplier quotation sheet. As you can see at the upper, we can see the last purchase and supplier quotation. And the first row is item as specification. And we can see the quantity, unit price, supplier, unit or size, supplier 1, supplier 2, and 3. Then we can also see the contact person and contact number of the supplier. Then this form shall be used by the purchaser for summarizing quotation of various supplier. It will be endorsed to the purchasing manager together with the market list or purchase request for the selection of winning bid. The latter will make comparative assessment of quotation and will place a check for winning bid.
I'm Robin Micah Barrera, and I will be discussing the canvassing. Canvassing is one of a form of personal selling and involves direct contact of canvasser with potential buyers. Most main goal is to conclude a contract of sales of goods or contract for a specific service. Canvassing process. Canvassing process is performed sequentially in the following phases: exploration and classification of potential customers, and prioritization of choices. In order to select customer, canvasser use phone books, newspaper ads, business correspondence, as well as information collected from supplier or bankers. Initial contact. Initial contact, preliminary visit to establish a list of buyers worthy of further efforts. Before the first meeting with the buyer, canvasser should also use all available sources of information to get to know the buyer's preference, needs, and his personality. An important role in this stage play the right clothes of canvassers, his punctuality, and personal culture. Presentation of the product. Presentation of the product. In this stage, canvasser present a detailed and more general benefits arising from the use of product. Execution of presentation. Execution of presentation create interest, answer the objection, fight of allegation, and stimulation desire. An important role in this stage play a canvasser. He needs to properly present product. He should not only convincingly speak, but he should listen carefully and watch the reaction of the potential customer. Canvassing as a marketing tool. Organizations use canvassing as a cheap and sometimes effective method of marketing to increase a customer base. The personal contact developed between a canvasser and customer can result in high sales potential if effectively implemented. The goal of canvassing is to provide information. Generate sales. Generate sales. Canvassing is a method of marketing used by organizations to generate appointment for the organization's sales force. Canvasser set up appointment with details information regarding the interest of the specific customers. Customization. Customization, no matter what kind of service or product the organization sells, the business can customize canvassing to address its needs. While other forms of advertising address the population at large, a canvasser can answer the needs of each individual he comes into contact with. Price. Price. Organization without large amount of capital can use canvassing as a cost-effective form of advertising. The organization can directly limit the cost associated with canvassing to wage paid to the canvassers. Managing the canvassing. An important aspect of canvassing is to manage the canvassers. The manager should provide the canvasser a good script, recruit them, train them, and track their progress. The right script and train make the difference between a successful canvassing campaign and the one that does not provide any return on the organization investments.
Hey everyone, I am Hazel Giba and I will be adding some information about business quotation. And as what my group mates discussed, business quotation is a document that lists the prices proposed by a seller for their goods or services and offered to a potential customer. The quotation document may include additional details such as taxes, cost for raw material and labor, and other factors contributing to the final pricing. For example po, ang Liwayway Company na nagpo-provide po ng mga Oasis snacks ay yearly nagkakaroon po sila ng team building sa Villa del Prado Resort before po nung mangyari ang pandemic. A month before po nung date na kanilang target, nagpapasend na po ang Liwayway Company ng quotation para malaman yung possible po na magagastos nila sa pangkahalatan. Doon po sa quotation na ipino-provide ng resort, nakapaloob po doon yung computation, terms and condition, at saka po yung resort rules and policies. After po nila na ma-review yung quotation, nagko-conduct naman po ang YY Company ng ocular visit sa resort para i-check po yung mga nakalagay dun sa quotation, and sometimes po dumediretso po sila dun sa down payment process, which is 50% at ito po ay non-refundable. Yung holding po kasi ng reservation, since yung date po nila is in accordance to peak season, binibigyan lang po sila ng 1 week para sa confirmation kung tuloy or hindi po yung kanilang team building, nang sa gayon po ay maibigay yung other accommodations to walk-in customers po. What appears to be important in business process po is that a quotation often proves most crucial to attracting and retaining customers. A small error or an ambiguous detail can cause the loss of customers. It is also important to keep in mind the legal terms which the products or services occurred. Therefore, quoting in a quick, accurate, and concise manner along with a professional layout and effective communication is imperative for success. A well-prepared quote can help convert a potential client into an actual customer. Thank you.